Yo, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Man, I'm gonna tell you something right now. We witnessed an epic game tonight between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets, as the Brooklyn Nets lose in 7 games in overtime, 115-111 against the Milwaukee Bucks. What a game this was, you guys. I mean, it was a game that was filled with ebb and flows, momentum, you name it, man. It was off the charts. I hope y'all had a great time watching the game. I know I was. I was kind of dozing off between, looking at my phone and also watching the game. But let me tell you something, man. This game was off the charts from the opening tap, you guys. Every possession was contested. Every single shot was challenged. It was a physically worn down game from start to finish, and both superstars, both Giannis and KD, played to the finish. You know what I mean? Come on. Make sure to smash the like button as you come on in, you guys. Make sure to smash that like button, too. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here, guys. A lot of stuff to talk about. So, I'll tell you this, though. I'm going to say it off the rip. I said earlier today, I said that I had the Brooklyn Nets winning Game 7 at home in the Barclays Center, because I said that, their home court advantage was going to try to get them through. But I'll tell you what, the Milwaukee Bucks showed something that the Los Angeles Clippers showed in that series against the Utah Jazz, and that was resilience, man. Man, oh man. So I'll put it like this. Here's how I saw the game. Okay, from the Milwaukee side of things, Giannis was off to a slow start. From the free throw line. If you had to reinforce the point that he needs to continue to work on his free throws, you just have to look at the game. But in all sincerity, guys, I have to give Giannis credit. He stuck with it. He didn't let the crowd get into his head, and he started converting his free throws. He was finding his touch, even though he had 2 air balls in the game. Now, the other thing too is, as I see some people coming into the chat right now, should Drew Holiday get benched? I'm about to talk about that right here, right now. And here's a simple answer to this: no, he does not deserve to get benched. Okay, listen, Drew Holiday, I'm going to give it to you. He was shooting horribly. The first 3 quarters, he was shooting 2 for 16. He couldn't find a bucket. Nowhere to be found, guys. He couldn't hit a bucket to save his life. But in the fourth quarter, he started making some shots. He had 9 points in that fourth quarter that, in my personal opinion, really was the ones that really kept the Milwaukee Bucks in the ball game. Because without those points, I bet you right now that the Brooklyn Nets would be celebrating to the conference finals. But salute to Drew Holiday. He stuck with it. He continued to make big shots. And I'm gonna tell you what, Chris Middleton, I got to give you your props, man. I got to give you your props. He made big shots. He didn't let the moment phase him. He finished with 23 points and 10 rebounds and playing 52 minutes. Giannis was playing like an MVP, scoring 40 points, grabbing 15 rebounds, and dishing out 5 assists. Now, for the Brooklyn Nets side of things, Kevin Durant played the entire game, scoring 48 points. And let me tell you something. That shot that he made to tie the game, to tie the game was ridiculously difficult. There are not many players in the NBA that can make that kind of shot in that kind of traffic. But give credit to Kevin Durant for making that difficult jump shot. But you can see during the overtime, even though they scored that first bucket in overtime, you could tell that the long distance of those minutes really start to wear down on the Brooklyn Nets, as you see what I'm saying, because Durant, his shots were starting to grow flat, and James Harden unfortunately was more of a liability offensively, because even though he still provided 22 points, you could tell that James Harden, his legs were not underneath him. You know what I'm saying? His legs were not underneath him. His shots were flat, and he just was not doing enough offensively. And so, Kevin Durant was pretty much asked to pretty much carry the load, and he ran out of gas. There's no other way to put it. I mean, both the superstars, both Giannis and both KD, were out of gas. But when it came down to the battle of attrition, you know, Giannis, was able to, find the strength within himself to continue on going and keep working in that post. I mean, it was pretty much it was. I'll put it like this: the defense was decent, but the offense was not good in overtime. I'll give you that. But but in the game seven, it comes down to a war of attrition. Who wants it more? And the Milwaukee Bucks made the big plays, in the fourth quarter and overtime, and they just wanted it more. They wanted it more. That's pretty much is what it is. As I see my homie Hitman X in the building. What's up, Hitman X? Hey, congratulations to your Phoenix Suns. Get to the conference finals, man. They're gonna be playing tomorrow, bro. I'm gonna drop a video on that. Variable Spits in says, yeah, that OT was hard to watch. Both teams couldn't hit the shots and were sloppy. I agree. I definitely agree. But it has a lot to do with the fact the two main factors. The defense was excellent, and also, it was a war of attrition. I mean, it was a physically draining game for both of these teams. Specifically for both Brooklyn side of things because they were dealing with two, injuries on their hand. You know what I'm saying? So now variable says asking me how easily will the Bucks win in the conference finals? Well, that's a tricky thing. If this against the Philadelphia 76ers, I think that it'll go 6 games, but I had the Bucks, winning that series. If it's against the Atlanta Hawks, that ends at 5. Because with the size matchup of the Bucks and considering how well they shoot from the perimeter too, I think that's not going to be enough. I think that's going to be more than enough for them to beat the Atlanta Hawks. But we're going to see in that game 7 tomorrow how that's going to turn out. But this is perhaps the best game 7 of this year's playoffs by far. I mean, both these teams heading into this series, we knew that both these teams were pretty much the teams that are guaranteed that have an opportunity to get to the Eastern Conference, not just to the Eastern Conference Finals, but possibly to get to the NBA Finals. And based on how the Milwaukee Bucks performed in that game 7, they showed the resiliency that is necessary to overcome these big moments and also to step up and basically hit the big shots down the stretch. So it was pretty much a fantastic game from start to finish, man. I loved every single minute of it. As I'm basically watching inside the NBA right now, see you guys. I love these kind of games. I really do because it shows to me how both these teams want it more. Who's going to make the necessary stops? Who's going to make the big shots? And who's going to step up and make the necessary big plays to help win the game? And tonight it was Milwaukee's night. And I admit, remember, I did a video earlier today. I said that the Brooklyn Nets were going to win the game, and boy, I was wrong. As I see my homie Brandon Nicholson in the building, my homie. What's up, man, bro? I have to say, the referees let the teams play, man. They let the teams play. They did not rig this game. I was so happy about the officiating. Sure, there was some minor questionable calls, but that's just how it is. But the best part was that the referees let them play. That was the big thing for me. I was worried that the officiating was going to be overdue, but man, they let the guys play. They let the players on the court decide the game. And also on the final play too. I want to talk about the final play. See, Brooklyn had a timeout left, and they could have used the timeout to try to set up a play or try to at least get Durant's lungs underneath him to try to at least get a good decent shot. You know what I mean? But I guess Steve Nash felt like, what? I got my best player on the floor on a live ball situation. I'm gonna let him decide, how this game's gonna end. And he unfortunately Kevin Durant, as great as he was throughout the whole game, he didn't have the legs to finish the game to finish out the shot. And so unfortunately, that just is what it is on that point. As I see more people coming in. Jonathan McFarland, what's going on, bro? Welcome, man. Brandon Nicholson says, just got home just in time to finish this game. Good to see you. Appreciate it, man. Variable Sin says, are Chris Paul and Kawhi coming back? Because if not, the Bucks win easily. That's a great question. See, honestly, that conference final in the West, I mean, right now it's a toss-up because Chris Paul, he's not injured. He's under the COVID-19 protocol, so we don't know when he's coming back. And there's major questions about Kawhi Leonard and his knee issues. I mean, I thought originally it was a torn ACL that he was going to be out for the rest of the playoffs, but it's not. But it has not been confirmed, so we don't know what the extent of the injury is. But we'll see. I have the Phoenix Suns winning the series in 6 games, but the Clippers right now they're on a emotional ride. They're on a wave of emotion right now, and it's stringing upward. So we'll see tomorrow afternoon how that will turns out. But yeah, what a series this was, guys. We got 18 people in the building, y'all. Come on, y'all, smash that like button for me, man. We got 18 people in the building. This is the most people I've had on a live stream in a while, man. I need to start doing more of these live streams, bro. I mean, I'm serious, man. Smash the like button for me, y'all, please. He says, "Are the Suns okay? Are the Suns with Chris Paul favored against the Bucks?" Honestly, yes. I think that with your question, variable sin, I think that with the if the Suns when the Suns do get Chris Paul back, I think they'll be better off against the Milwaukee Bucks than they are right now without him. But don't count out this Phoenix Suns team because they've shown their talent and their resiliency in the first 2 rounds. We'll see how they do. John David Font says Suns over the Clippers in 7. Okay. Laker fan says salute, man. Salute. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, you guys. Thank y'all for smashing the like button. I really appreciate it, you guys. But this game had it all. I'll tell you what, if there's one thing that the Nets need to improve in the offseason, it's a couple of things. One, they need better size on that front line because they were getting killed on the boards a lot in this series, you guys. Number two, the injury bug really hit them hard because the key injuries that happened was Kyrie Irving when he turned his ankle in Game 4, and when James Harden re-injured that hamstring that was out for the majority of the season in Game 1. So the rebounding and the injury bug really killed them on both ends. But also to the fact that a lot of the role players on the Nets, guys like the Joe Harrises, the Bruce Bowens, they did decently, but they weren't present in the big moment. Jeff Green, Deem scored 1 point. Landry Shaman only played 7 minutes, and Tyler Johnson, didn't play much at all, and Spencer Dinwiddie didn't play much at all either, and so because he's injured. So we're gonna see. I think that what the Nets need to do is improve the size on the front line, and they need to do a better job in terms of execution, and that falls on Steve Nash. He says, and great. Oh wait, Brandon Nichols said a good point. He said, "I fail to understand why DeAndre Jordan didn't play. At least he's for an answer for Brooklyn." You know what, man? You're thinking exactly what I was thinking. I didn't understand why Steve Nash didn't put DeAndre Jordan in the game to basically counter against Brook Lopez because he was getting the big rebounds late in the game, guys. Man, that's a great point, bro. Great point. What's up, Gideon? How you doing, man? He said the Nets didn't execute, didn't run the plays down the stretch. They didn't attack down the stretch and settle for jumpers. Exactly, bro. But you also have to consider the fact that these guys were playing 50 plus minutes in this game. So it came down to a war of attrition, and the Bucks won that war of attrition. What's up, Vic Shepard? He says they need a hit. You need a new head coach called Jason Kidd. Well, they're not gonna fire Steve Nash off of that. I don't think so. So, but it would be nice to see Jason Kidd try to coach this team. What's up, Brown on Buxton? How you doing, man? He said Joe Harris was garbage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was garbage, all right. Gideon says I have a weird feeling about the Hawks winning Game 7 in Philly. You know what? If Ben Simmons disappears again, you might be right. You might be right. He said also KD should have drove to the rim when they were down 2. You know what, bro? I was exactly thinking the same what you're feeling, bro. I didn't like the fact that he settled for the jump shot. And then I see my brother, Lewis Sports Network in the building, says Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni. That's all you need to know. Facts. Absolute facts. I'm going to tell you something. Both those two guys have never won an NBA championship. And you wonder why they have not won a championship. I'm going to leave it at that. What's up? What's up, WWN? What's going on, man? He said, I hope so, Gideon. He said, also, Harris missed clean notes. Exactly. What's up, JT? He said, KD, buzzer beater, and was 2 rests that couldn't control. That's brutal, man. That's freaking brutal. Man, oh, man. Man, we got a lot of people in the building today. This is great. John Devin Barnes says, Joe Harris pulled a John Cena because we couldn't see it. Man, y'all going on Joe Harris's head. You know what I'm saying? He says, salute, Mahari. Appreciate it, man. Lewis Sport Never says Durant's last shot was a terrible shot selection. I agree with that. See, here's the problem I have with that shot. The Nets had a timeout remaining. They could have called a timeout at half court and set up a better play to get Durant a shot, and also let Durant, get his legs so you can get off a clean look. I just didn't. I just didn't like the shot selection at all. Barry Percent says, "Are you going? Are post game interviews going on right now?" Yeah, right now KD's talking to the press right now through Inside the NBA. If you want to watch it, I'm watching it right now as we're speaking. So let me listen just real quick. I got to tell you something, guys. KD KD's kind of like physically distraught. I mean, you could tell like the man played every minute of this game, and not winning it. I mean, it's gotta hurt, bro. It's really gotta hurt. Gideon says also Milton and Holiday made clutch plays on both sides of the ball. You know what, bro? I was ready to give up on the Bucks because Middleton and Drew Holiday was just frustrating the hell out of me. And I was thinking to myself, please do not be the same Bucks again. The same Bucks that had both Middleton, disappearing like Casper the Ghost, and then Drew Holiday being a free agent bust. But I got to give those guys credit. They made big shots. They made big plays on the defensive end and made critical rebounds when they needed to. And Drew Holiday, he woke up out of his shooting slump and made big shots in the fourth quarter to keep the Bucks in the game, man. What's up, Michael Van Burke? He said, "Man, Milwaukee is just too good." Right, exactly. Brand Nicholson says, "I agree." What was Durant thinking with that last shot? I think he was probably thinking he probably could get a 2-for-1, but that was way too late in the shot clock. But also, again, you could have called a timeout, let Durant, get himself gathered, and and then set up a play to get a quality look. But again, Steve Nash doesn't have much coaching experience, so he doesn't know that you immediately call a timeout in those situations. If that were either Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson, they call a timeout immediately and then set up a play. That's exactly what they would have done. What's up, Think Tank? He says Nets will definitely be retooling this roster. Bucks six is coming up. The Dan Tony curse continues, right? I'll tell you what, man. Anytime, anywhere, or any place Mike D'Antoni goes as either a coach, as the head coach, or the assistant coach, you may get wins in the regular season. When it comes to the playoffs, yep, miss it in action. That's the way I put it. Gideon says they didn't pack the paint on Greek Freak during the crunch time. You know what? That's what angered me too. That's what angered me. Like, listen, man, why are you not guys crowding the paint and stopping Giannis from getting to the paint? Something that the Raptors did and the Miami Heat did. Like, I don't understand it, bro. What's up, Damien? He says, Salute, it was a great game. Agreed. Lewis Webber says Giannis is getting all the credit, but Milton and Drew made huge shots and huge plays. Giannis played great. Exactly. That's what we need to hit home. That Middleton and Drew Holiday, despite the fact that they were struggling the majority of the game, they stepped up in crunch time and made the big shots. Been one of the biggest criticism of both those guys, not just throughout the year, but before Drew Holiday came to Milwaukee. That's been one of the biggest criticisms of Chris Middleton, that he doesn't play and doesn't show up in big moments. And tonight, they both did, and they did a great job. Gideon also says, also, KD could have stepped back behind the line at the end of regulation. Yeah, he could have, but that's what happens when you have long feet. He said, but saved his job for now. Yep. We the people added says, I'm happy the Nets eliminated. Woo, man. Gideon says, also I felt that the NBA was helping the Nets with some questionable calls. Oh yeah, they were trying to rig the game, guys. Yeah, they were trying to rig the game here, but the Bucks were not having it. Lewis Sports Never says Joe Harris was absolutely garbage. Tells me he can't play in big moments with Nash roll with him. Bro, I was so irritated with Joe Harris, man. Joe Harris might be a good shooter in the regular season, but he ain't no Klay Thompson. Let's end that now. Let's end that conversation now. Latrell Johnson says, if Joe Harris made that three at 111, 113, that could have sealed it. Agreed. KD did all he could. Agreed. We the people says, I can't stand Kyrie. Kyrie's disrespectful. Man, bro, can y'all leave Kyrie alone, man? Can y'all please leave Kyrie alone? Do not talk about Kyrie here, all right? Leave that man alone. Who then said 78 was right. I know. You know what? I'm gonna reach out to 7-8. After this live stream and give him my congratulations. But right now, James Harden is also speaking to the press right now through inside the NBA. I gotta say, I kind of feel bad for James Harden though in this sense because he was battling that hamstring injury. I mean, he did everything he could, his but his body just betrayed him. It just is what it is. Gideon says also the bench really didn't get much burn and didn't attempt a shot. Yup, exactly. Damian Mount, D. Michael says, Mount Fountain says, KD good, but not LeBron good though. Okay. Daniel Kuta says, how many points for Giannis? 40 points. 40 points tonight. KD led all scorers with 48 points, but Giannis scored 40 points and grabbed 13 rebounds and dished out 5 assists. Damon Preacher says I think KD shot before the end of regulation, then he felt overconfident and took the bad shot. Agreed, but I think that it was more of a fatigue shot in my opinion because he just spent so much energy, and that's what I said. They should have called a timeout. Brandon says 41 points. He said Joel Embiid gives me nightmares, but I hope the Bronx in. Okay, okay. Why you don't want people? Why you don't talk about? Man, just leave Kyrie alone, bro. Just leave him alone. Listen, you may not like Kyrie, but I listen. Just leave the man alone, bro. Just leave Kyrie alone, man. Just leave him alone, bro. Leave him alone. Just leave the man alone. Gideon says also the Bucks were lucky that KD didn't step back to the 3-point line when he tied the game at 109. Had KD did that, it would have been the second player to hit to get a game winner in a game 7. Oh yeah. He said best second round series in a while. Yeah, that was a really good series. I think that and the 2019, conference semifinals between, Philadelphia and Toronto when Kawhi Leonard hit the baseline shot with all the bounces in that game 7 was pretty much fantastic. He said variable facts. Hawks got to win. All right. Boy, we got a lot of people. Man, this has been deep. Man, we've got a lot of people in the building. I love it. Man, I love it, you guys. He said facts. Daniel says the Bucks should have been done with KD in 6. They didn't play close to their potential. Okay, okay. He said Kyrie don't belong in the NBA. Hey, he said Kyrie don't belong in the NBA. Really? Okay, just for that, I'm gonna do you a favor. Just for that foolishness that you just said, get out of my channel, bro. I told you, do not be disrespectful with Kyrie in this live stream. All right, I gave you a chance, and now I'm getting you out of here, bro. Do not sit here and be disrespectful. All right. Gideon says, I think the Hawks win. It was a thriller. Sixers are too inconsistent, and it's destined for Trae Young to freeze up the Sixers and fly to the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, okay. I see what you mean. Okay. Jonathan McFarland says, Joe Harris should not show his face after that. Bruh, Joe Harris shouldn't even be in the stratosphere right now. The way that he was shooting, shoot. That was just pathetic. He said also Harden took some questionable shots. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But you also have to consider the fact that he was pretty much limited with the hamstring. Like the way that he would play in other games, if he were healthy, he'd be much more explosive than that. But unfortunately, you know, it wasn't meant to be for him. So, and I got my friends texting me right now on this game here. Brandon says game one, I agree. Think Tank says Karis LeVert and Jones Allen being around would have been definitely better for the Nets. Harden was literally a no show due to the injury when it counted. Right. I think that the team that they had earlier in the season would have gave them much more problems. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I'm telling you this though right now. That trade, I think, is going to hurt them a little bit long term than it is going to be on the short term. I do agree with that. John Hand says, better team won, plain and simple. Agreed. He said James Harden earned my respect by playing hurt. Yep, I agree. He did earn my respect too. So I'm not gonna crap on James Harden tonight. You know what I mean? If he was healthy and he played terrible, then he deserved the criticism. But I'm not gonna give it to him this time. Gideon says Next, 0-2 in Game 7s in Brooklyn. They lost in Game 7 to the Bulls in 2013. Oh, yeah, I remember that game. The Nate Robinson series. That was one of my favorite series as a Bulls fan. I was happy when the Bulls beat the Nets in Game 7 in their home floor. It was beautiful, man. Daniel says the Bucks played like trash in this series and won. They are winning the World Championship. Okay, okay. Gideon says Harden did try his best on that banged up hamstring. Yep. One J54 says Nash is not the right coach for this team. You know what? There have been a lot of people that were saying that earlier in the year, and now it's opened up the criticism for that. Now, I mean, it's opened up the door. Now, I'm just saying, it's opened up the door now. Yep, boy, this he said, damn hard in this crush. I know. I listen. Harden had probably the best year of his career, not just because of scoring, but also because he was playing as the player that he should be, more of a playmaker, not just as a scorer. But then the hamstring came into play earlier in the year that missed him a lot of games, and then it came back again in the playoffs. Like it was just bad timing, just bad timing. Gideon says, hopefully the Hawks and Sixers will be even more intense. Right. He said the ref was a mess. Man, bro, they were trying to take the game away from the Bucks, you guys. They were trying their hardest, but no dice. Gideon says, I think the Bucks will make it to the finals. He also says the Hawks don't have the size and experience, and the Sixers are too streaky to beat the Bucks. Right. He said, what did Kyrie do? Exactly. Nothing. He said, thank you, Mahar. That dude was trolling heavy. Exactly, bro. I had to get rid of him, man. I had to really get rid of him because he was being disrespectful, bro. Yep. Yep. The ref was protecting Harden and KD. Bad ref. Variable Sin says, yeah, the Bucks should win either way, but the Hawks are less scary. Well, they are less scary unless Trey Young plays like Superman. Skate or Die says, name the three most prone injuries in the NBA. Well, obviously, hmm, AD would be one. Um, some I would say Kyrie, but it was a freak injury, and then maybe Joel Embiid. How about that? John Hand says Bucks prove that you can beat the media hype. Exactly. He said Brent. He's like, looks like I missed an injury 45 minutes of this game, Sam. I have to watch this game on my DVR. Yeah, you do, bro. You got to rewatch the game, bro. It was intense. Gideon says, I will give Harden a pass. He did duke it out on a bad hamstring. Yes, he did. Lewis Webber said, I'm gonna give my thoughts on the game in a moment. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna make sure to tune in and check it out, bro. So I'm going to read the last few comments and then I'm going to get out of you. Brandon Nicholson says, I did feel that the Nets made a tragic error when they made trade Jaron Howard, Levert, and Prince. You know what, bro? I might just do a video about that because the thing is, though, bro, you know, I think that trade is going to bite them in the ass in the long run. I do believe. And says smash the like button. Yes, sir. Yes, please, guys. Smash the like button, you guys. Please smash the like button. Isaac Munoz says, respect to 2015. Now who knows how it feels. Giannis to the Bucks. Yep. Steve Nash should have never been even being considered. Well, that's what people said, and now it's now justified. He said, "I question." Lewis said, "I questioned the Nash hiring when Mike D'Antoni joined the coaching staff." He said, Gideon said the Bucks winning their first game 7 on the road since after being 0-7, and then the last victory of that game 7 during their franchise history was back in 2001 when they defeated Baron Davis and the Charlotte Hornets with the big three of Robinson, Allen, and Cassell. You know what I'm saying? My beautiful sweetheart, Tay Tay Brown. Ooh, hey, honey. What? Am I too loud for you? How do you, sunshine? Hmm? Am I too little too loud for you? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me quiet down a little bit for you. Let me quiet that down for you, so you can soothe your soul and calm yourself down. No, ma'am. This is how I talk. Deal with it. But anyway, salute, Queen. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Gideon says game would have been more epic if had both teams were healthy. Bro, yeah, but you know what? It's the playoffs. I mean, injuries happen. That just is what it is. John McFarland said this could be the year of the Bucks. Colin Cowherd could be right. That might be the only time I'll admit to that. That might be the only time. Only if they get there. Only they get there. He said injury-prone players: Anthony Davis, Victor Oladipo, and Chris Paul. Yep, exactly. He said Bucks win the first series versus the Nets. Nets knocked them out in 0-3. Yep. And Michael Surfzone says great game. Yep, great game, man. Absolutely. Daniel says Giannis had a good game. Middleton and Drew got to show up for the rest of the playoffs. Agreed. Exactly. 80, it's 88 Brown says, ew. Hey, you talked about the microphone, sweetheart. And by the way, tell your boy Act Reacher that he better be ready when we play one on one because I will tear his ass up and I will send him back to uptown New York in embarrassment. Let him know that. Jonathan Vaughn said, LOL, my heart. Yep, I do that every time when the lovely Tay Tay Brown's in the building. Every time she get it. Gideon says KD was just 2 points away from getting 50, which would have been a playoff career high. Yeah, but he had to play at least 53 minutes to get to those 48 to get to those 48 points. He played at least 53 minutes in that entire game. He just was pushing it to the max, you guys. Absolutely pushing it to the max. Brown on Boxing says great game. JC says fist up, great game. And Gideon also says Greenfield was great and made some free throws after the slow start. You know what's funny about those free throws? It reminded me a lot of Karl Malone back in the 90s, especially when the hostile crowds were doing the quick, countdown to 10 and all that stuff. Like, bruh, do you? I bet after that air ball, he just basically locked in and said, "Okay, you gonna keep doing that to me? I'm gonna start making some free throws." And he locked in to himself and started making those free throws. You know what I mean? It was great. He says Suns and Bucks in the finals, okay, and Bucks win the championship. That's what Daniel says, okay. Gideon says I think it will be Suns and Bucks in the NBA finals, okay. Jonathan Varner says if Atlanta wins easily, and if it's Atlanta Bucks, if it's Atlanta Bucks win easily, but it's Philadelphia Bucks in 6. Okay, okay. So, man, Woody Kellen says Hawks in the finals. Woo, bold statement. Okay, okay, okay. We got one person that says that the Atlanta Hawks would make it to the finals. Woo, all right, bold statement there. But it is what it is, though, guys. But fantastic game here from start to finish. You know what I'm saying? It was a brilliant game, and both these teams really put themselves to the wire. And basically gave the fans a great game down to the finish. And so it is what it is, though, man. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night, now, guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and check out all the other brothers in the LDBC. I'm gonna check out 78 real quick, and then I'm gonna jump into 503 live stream so I can get more of my analysis there. But guys, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in, and thank y'all for showing up after the game, guys. It was a fantastic game from start to finish, and tomorrow we got game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Phoenix Suns, and then we got one more game 7 between the Atlanta Hawks and the Philadelphia 76ers. And you know what, guys? Get strapped up, ready to go, guys, because we're about to enter ourselves into the home stretch of the NBA playoffs. So it is what it is. Y'all have a great night. Make sure to smash the like button on the way out, and also share the live stream to your social media platforms. Spread the word about my channel. And with that, I'm out. Peace.